have to want it. All
Recording.
right.
They
Okay.
are. They are. They have to want it. So, good evening. This is team call, joint team call with Empower Me, Empower You, Renew, and Wellness Warriors. And so I'm going to have Jenny start, and then I'll take over afterwards.
All right. Sounds good, darling. So I listened to a podcast the other day, and it just totally spoke to me. The title of it was Celebrating Your Partial Victories. And this one was recommended to me by Maureen, actually, and it took me forever to actually listen to it. I don't know why, but the other morning, something just told me to search for Joel, and I found it, and I listened to it. So I have a couple notes that I threw together about that, but I also have some other ones that I kind of added in based on just some different pieces that I've heard along the way. And I just think it's so easy to overlook this simple like mindset of celebrating partial victories. But it's so effective when you do it. So that's why I really think it's important for me to talk about it, because it'll reinforce it in my own mind. It's actually something I'm working on right now. November was an awful month for me, like business-wise, when I look back on the scoreboard. But however, I don't now, at this point, I can say it wasn't a total failure, because I put a lot of work into November. And that is the part that I'm really trying to work on, changing my viewpoint and knowing that success isn't always what's on the scoreboard or what's always the end result. You don't have to measure success based on those things. And here's kind of what I'm talking about. So earlier in the summer, I heard a team call. Actually, it was a national wake-up call by Summer Tucker. I think her name was Summer Tucker. And she spoke about this wonderful metaphor about sowing seeds and growing a crop, basically. And the way she phrased it just totally made sense to me. So I'm going to share that before I get into any of Joel's podcasts and those type of things. So she was talking about, if you're a farmer and you want to grow crops, you plant your seeds, right? What happens if you just walk away from those seeds? Well, maybe a couple of them will sprout and most likely they will die pretty soon after, because the sun will probably dry them up, right? So what is necessary in order to grow those seeds into crop? Well, you need to take care of the seeds. You need to water the seeds. You probably should fertilize the seeds. And once they start sprouting, you need to take care of them. You don't step on them, right? You don't trample them. You don't pick them until they're fully flourished and grown. But that can take months and months and months, right? So she was saying that she used this wonderful metaphor of celebrating the sprouts. and it's so important that you do that you take the time. Every single time you post something about your journey, you're planting a seed, right? So anytime somebody engages with that, that's kind of a sprout in the metaphorical way of thinking, right? So that is, even those little tiny things, like somebody comments and says, hey, like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, I can't tell you, I get a lot of comments of people saying, keep doing what you're doing, or thank you. You know, they thank me for what I'm posting. And to me, I easily overlook that, because I'm like, well, I'm not a success club yet, but it's like that. Those are the things that we need to remember, that this is why we're in this. Really, that is really our mission, to help people live healthy, fulfilling lives. And if we're making an impact on them, regardless of what we're getting back, we need to celebrate that and recognize that. And that kind of leads into what Joel was saying. Regardless of what your faith is, regardless of if you're a Christian, you maybe are spiritual, you believe in a universal power, whatever you believe in, it's a kind of a known fact that when you have an attitude of gratitude, the universe will provide you with more, right? It's like this, like, double-edged sword, or however you want to phrase it, but it's hard for us to be grateful when we don't have a lot, or so we think we don't have a lot. But when we can change our mindset and become grateful, we will get more. We will get more blessed, and we will be more blessed with things and whatever it is, our accomplishments, our achievements. So taking the mindset and switching it from what's going wrong to what's going right is really where the magic happens. And guys, this is what I'm working on. Like, this is so relevant to me because, like I said, November, I could have easily said, no, you know what? This sucks. Like, basically, why am I doing this? And I have had so many fights with myself because I know in my head, I know it's okay. Like, all I have to do is stick this out. Like, consistency is key. I know that in my head, but my confidence and all that is pretty beat up, like, it, because I'm so hard on myself. And that leads to another point. So we need to let go of the need to be perfect. And that's something else that I heard recently, that perfectionism is actually a stifle. It's a stifle to our success, because it's really fear. When we have perfectionistic tendencies, it's really us being afraid, right? We're worried, if this is not perfect, they're going to judge me for this, right? If we don't hit Success Club 10, they're going to judge me for that, right? So we think that we have to only be perfect in order for people to accept us. But really, like, again, that's just fear. And it took me, again, the other night, this kind of like hit me, and I'm like, wow, like, I am a perfectionist and I need to stop doing that to myself. So letting go of the need to be perfect, because we're all a work in progress. So one of the ways that I like to think about this is, I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. I love that quote, right? Because when I think back to where I was 10 years ago, I was a completely 180-degree different person. When I think about where I was 1 year ago, I was a lot different, 2 years ago. So do that exercise with yourself, and maybe even write it down, like journal. I actually have a journal that I don't really write in it anymore, but in some of my darkest days, I wrote in that journal, and it's amazing when I go back and read some of the things that I wrote, and I was like, I was in a really bad place for a long time, and now I have so much to be grateful for. Like, what the heck am I miserable about? So just cultivating that mindset of gratitude is really, I guess, what it's all about. And that allows the universe to bless you with so many more things and so many more successes along the way. It's not our business to know when that'll happen. And we have to, this is another thing I heard recently, have to put our intentions out there and let go of the outcome, which is so hard to do. It really is. But we don't know what the outcome will be, right? We can't control the outcome. Like Maureen said, right? We can't control who's going to show up to our call. We can't. We can't control who's going to comment on something we post, who's going to join our challenge group, who's going to join our team. We can't control what our coaches do. We can't control if our customers complete a 21-day fix. We can't control any of that, right? So really, at the end of the day, why do we worry about it if all it does is stifle us, right? So that's another thing. But I think that so many of us do it not realizing it, right? We're not being mindful. And again, that's another thing that we just need to be more aware of. But when we have that attitude of gratitude, it's so much easier to celebrate the little things throughout the day. So for example, like, I don't know if I think I've shared with you guys that I was teaching in an awful school district for 2 years in a row in an urban setting. Kids were very, very awful, awful behavior. Like, I hate to say it, but it was just a really tough place to work. And now I'm in like the opposite. Like, I have literally children that are like saints. Like, I love them. They're wonderful. So sometimes I'm at school and I'm in a mood and I'm like, what am I upset about? Like, I need to think back to where I was. Like, and now, so as I went through my day today, anytime I had a spare minute, I just said thank you. I just that little mindset, a little reminder. to just remind myself to be thankful. So a couple of people recently said this to me, that when you wake up in the morning, actually, this is something that successful people, I guess many successful people do this. When they wake up in the morning, they immediately think of 3 things that they're grateful for before their feet even touch the ground. Before they even get out of bed, they think of 3 things that they're grateful for. And before they go to bed, they do the same thing. But in the morning, successful people have routines that they stick to, right? So what I've been trying to do is literally schedule a block of time in my morning to make sure I'm getting all that I need spiritually, mentally, physically, everything, and to not have that be non-negotiable. Because I believe that our level of self-care equates to kind of a level of success. I believe that when we care about ourselves and we not put it's hard to say put ourselves first, but we kind of need to put ourselves first. And when we do that, again, like, good things start to happen. It's not easy to do, but these are just all little things that I'm kind of taking bits and pieces from different places, and I think it's super powerful stuff. So a couple things that you can celebrate. Did you post today? Did you post on Facebook today? That's where we're celebrating. Did you do your vital behaviors? Did you work out? Celebrate it, right? Did you help somebody? Did somebody say, you know what, because of you, I did my workout? That's worth celebrating, right? And all those little things add up. So a couple more things. Language is everything. And language, meaning the way we talk to ourselves, is everything as well. And if we think about things in the negative tense, then we get negative results. And I think that's kind of what happened to me last month. I was so focused on not missing Success Club, right? So see how I worded that? I don't want to miss Success Club. If I phrase it, I want to achieve Success Club 10 this month, right? I just turn that around to a positive frame, then all of a sudden the universe is now going to respond. And not, and that's not a guarantee, right? But it does. It goes a long way, and it just sets your mindset from negative energy to positive energy, which is really what it's all about, and attracting success. So 4 things that I have. I already kind of said the gratitude each day. I'm just going to give you guys a couple of tips that I had compiled. So give yourself the daily gratitude challenge. 3 new things that you can be grateful for every day. And it can be a glass of water. It can be heat. It can be a car that works. Like, literally, guys, like, we take so many things for granted, right? I mean, we all do. And when we lose power, we realize how much we take things for granted. So just the little things like that. And all of a sudden, other things don't seem so bad, it doesn't seem so bad that, oh my gosh, you have a peanut butter sandwich instead of your favorite salad. Your husband ate your salad. Like, little things like that don't seem to matter when you focus on what's really important, right? I don't know where I got that example. That was crazy. So focus on what you're doing right and not what you're doing wrong. So when we were at Summit, we heard Dwayne, I can't remember his last name, Dwayne something from National Geographic, and he shared these amazing photographs. And he would take photographs from this weird angle, and people wouldn't know what it was until they saw the big picture. And it was really, really cool. So, like, one of them was a field of dandelions that had already turned that white cottony color. And he thought nobody would want a photograph of that. But he got way underneath one of them, and his angle with the sun in the background, it was absolutely stunning. And so his whole mentality is look at what is right and not what's wrong, because there's always something right that you can look at. It's all in how you look at it. It's all in perspective, right? So that's kind of another thing, is like, focus on what's going right. yeah, so what, you don't have a whole team of runner coaches, but do you have 2 runner coaches? Do you have 1 runner coach? Are you being active? Are you helping people? Are you running a free group? Like, there's always something that you can be grateful for in this business. And guys, I'm not saying this because I'm perfect. I'm saying this because I need to say it for myself to remember this. Believe you are worthy of success. So I heard this the other night in my training, and she was saying that many people will say, I want whatever. Let's say we're talking about this business, and we want to push for elite. We want our intention for 2016 is we want to be an elite coach. But do we actually believe we can be an elite coach ourselves, right? Do we actually believe that we are worthy of that success, of that achievement, of that greatness, right? So believing we're worthy is huge. And I don't think a lot of people realize that maybe they don't do it. They don't believe in themselves, that they're worthy of receiving these awesome things, right? And for a while, the whole income potential with Beachbody kind of made me uncomfortable. It was like, I don't know if it's selfish of me to want like so much, but the way I'm looking at it is like, it's not about the money. It's not about accumulating the money. It's about the quality of life and the gifts that I can give to people and the things that I can do and the freedom of time, right? So it's not anything that we shouldn't feel worthy for. We're all worthy of success. And then the other thing that I'm trying to be doing recently is yes, I said starting my day with a routine, but anytime I have free time, I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to build up my barrier against negativity, the devil, whatever you want to call it. But it's true. You've got to guard yourself at all times from negativity, and it's so easy for it to creep up on you. So what I do is when I'm driving, I'm listening to a podcast or I'm listening to something that's going to help me, if it's my music or scripture, anything. I'm listening to it. And anytime, so before I go to bed, I'm reading. I don't always want to do it, but I realize the value in it. So scheduling that time and making it non-negotiable for you to self-improve and develop personally really is what you can never go wrong. You can't go wrong if you spend a lot of time doing that, right? Don't expect other people to praise you because they're not going to. They might, but again, you can't rely on that. So actually Joel, he said, I throw myself a party. He said, I don't wait for people to throw me a party. I throw myself a party. And it's true. Like, throw yourself a party. If you feel like you crushed a workout, you own it, right? And you share that. And you know what? Who cares if nobody engages with your post? Who cares? Because you should be proud of it, right? And that was my mentality when I came into this business, and I did really well with it. And life happens and we get off track, but it's so true. When you're doing this for yourself, it doesn't matter what they think, right? It really doesn't. So my last question, I guess, is, are you growing? Are you making progress? If you are, then that is worth celebrating. And that's what it's all about. And the rest will come. We know we can study hundreds of successful coaches. They came from exactly the same place we came from. They came from having $0 in their account, right? In their Beachbody account. They had no coaches, right? Just like us. But what is the common denominator? They're consistent, they persevere, and they follow the vital behaviors, and they believe in themselves, right? And I'm sure many of them would say, I failed 1,000,001 times, but I didn't give up and I didn't beat myself up for it, right? So I think we need to use their example and realize that they weren't just born like this superstar diamond coach. Like, they had to work through it too. And when we look at what they did, it kind of puts things in perspective, for us to know that they've been there just like us, but the one common factor between failing in this business and succeeding is when it gets tough, are you going to quit? Or are you going to keep believing, right? And I've heard it a million times, don't quit before the miracle happens, because so many people will put in so much effort and then they quit right before. It's like, you know, they talk about like pumping the well, and you have to work really, really hard to pump the well and no water comes out. And then all of a sudden it's like the switch is flipped and the water just flows out on its own and you hardly have to do any work, right? It's the same idea. And that's what I keep telling myself. And I truly believe in my heart that this business is going to take me amazing places. I just have to remain open and also remain humble and know that I don't know it all, and I need to keep learning as I go and keep doing what I'm doing here with you guys. So, Maureen, I'm going to let you talk now. I'm done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. No, it was good. I was taking notes like crazy, taking notes.
You're cute. Thank you.
It's true, right? So I think there comes a point where we become complacent, or we judge our successes off of the successes of other people. And so I'll elaborate on that. We compare ourselves to people that have had huge success, you know, like people that may have started after us and they're like 5-star diamond, and we're like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And then we start to think negatively about ourselves, and we lose sight of those small victories, which is kind of what we're discussing, right? So those small victories, well, maybe I have a warm market that's growing cold, and so I've been expanding my network and forming with new people. That's a success. I'm starting to rebuild now a warm market that was a cold market for me. Maybe I was able to get somebody to buy just the program, and they didn't buy a challenge pack, so I didn't get success points for that. Okay, but I still helped somebody to make a change in their life. That is still a success. Thinking about coaches. Maybe I'm unable to get any of my own personally sponsored coaches to see their potential or the potential of this business, but maybe I'm able to help coaches that are in my downline that are able to see what they have in themselves and their potential, and the bigger picture of the potential that this business does have to offer. I think we lose sight of that very often, and I say that because I do. I have lost sight of that over the past few months. I have been in a funk, and I keep saying that I'm getting out of it, but yet I've been so stuck in it. And you mentioned language. Well, I would even go so far as to say it's all about our thought process. So once we start having those negative thoughts, and even in the language that we choose to use and how we're using it, that will negatively impact our feelings. It will negatively impact our actions, which will then impact our thoughts, our feelings, our actions. And it will just be this vicious cycle of, well, I'm not doing that well. Okay, well, I didn't make Success Club. And then just this whole negativity of, I can't grow my team. I can't motivate the people that are on my team. I can't even motivate myself. My thyroid's getting crazy again, and I've been feeling bad. I can't do anything anyway, or I'm not getting any sleep, so it's just never going to work. Well, when we have that sort of attitude, that stuff is going to continue to come into us. Same power of attraction, when we have that positive attitude, then that positive stuff will come into us. And again, whether you, like you said, Jenny, whether you are spiritual or religious or what have you, the law of attraction is true. When you think positive thoughts and you have positive feelings, you will do positive things, and that will be the cycle that happens for you, and that's what's going to come back to you. So one of the coaches on in my downline that wasn't able to come on, I asked her. Her name's Juliet Holden, and I asked her some thoughts because Juliet is somebody who is has perseverance like none other. I mean, this girl she does never give up, and even if she isn't having these huge, crazy successes, she still is not giving up. So I asked her, if she would prepare something or if she would make a small video clip or something for the call because she couldn't be on. And I totally took her by surprise. And she's like, man, I barely even been doing my 3 vitals, for like the past like 10, 11 days. And I'm like, but we all have low points. We all get into funks. Life happens. And sometimes we get stuck in it. Well, there's a positive in sitting with a negative emotion because sometimes we need to feel that and understand it and understand where it comes from and then push through it. But if we sit there for too long, then we're going to stay in it. And we'll stay in the funk, and we'll stay in that sort of yuck. And I think even just asking her that was enough to get her to kind of be like, oh, wait a minute, I do those things. And even she wasn't thinking that she does them. Any small thing that we do should be celebrated, just like you said. Am I getting up and am I doing my workout? Yes. That should be celebrated. And you couldn't have said, I can't say it any better than you said it. When we first started in this business, we are gung-ho and we are ready to go. And for most of us, we want to hit the ground running. And we try, right? And what are we doing? We are being a product of the product, and we are doing it so fiercely, and we are so proud of ourselves. I will never forget that first challenge group that we were in. And I broke outside of my comfort zone on so many levels. Being in a challenge group, I was posting before and after pictures that I couldn't believe that I was doing, in a bikini no less. And I was so heavy. I had literally just had a baby, and I'm like, I can't even believe that I'm taking these pictures, but I did. And I posted them. And I was so proud of myself because I was like, yes, I did that. That was a victory for me. Then getting up every day and I would do my workout, victory. Posting in the group, victory. Having somebody say, hey, awesome job, victory. Because even though you don't necessarily need that, it was nice to know that people, and I think sometimes we forget. So I didn't have 100 likes on my post. Who cares? Did I have 1? Great. That's a victory. And what if it was somebody new that doesn't necessarily like something? That's even better. That means that my positive energy is reaching out to other people. And even if it doesn't sprout something up right away, it will. Because I'm continuing to throw that stuff out there. Victory, victory, victory. It may be small. And maybe I'm not a 5-star diamond yet, but it doesn't mean that I won't get there if I continuously do these things, because the small victories, just like in the compound effect, those small, seemingly insignificant things built up over time are huge. Same thing with our victories. And so I just want to read a little bit about what Juliet had said. Bear with me because it's in my messenger. And she referenced The Secret, which if you've never read The Secret or watched it, I highly recommend. I think you can watch it on YouTube, or at least watch clips of it on YouTube. It's on Netflix. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So what she was talking about is trying to find a clip from The Secret, because it's something that she constantly references for her own self when she's having difficult times. And so James Ray, who's in The Secret, says, they say I'm fired up. I saw this program and I'm going to change my life, and yet my results aren't showing yet. Beneath the surface, it's just about ready to break through, but the person will just look at the surface results and say, this stuff doesn't work. And you know what? The universe is just as that. Your wish is my command. And then those results disappear. So when you allow a thought of doubt to enter into your mind, the law of attraction will soon line up. One doubtful thought will turn into more. And then that moment of doubt comes, and what we need to do is release it immediately. instead of allowing for it to sit there with us. We need to find a way to replace it with, I know I am receiving good now and I feel it. I know that I am making some kind of results and I feel it. I'll give you a perfect example of what she was saying. So I started Master and Chisel. So hard. So hard. And I am sore, okay? I had tears in my eyes when I finished the workout today. Literal tears in my eyes. And Adelina was like, Mommy, are you okay? Because I grunted so loudly. I'm like, she thought I was hurt. And I'm like, no, baby, I'm not hurt. I had tears in my eyes and I was just like, oh my God, like it was so hard. It's testing my will and my strength. And it's like, I got to dig deep and pull this out. And am I seeing results right now? No. Am I going to quit because I'm sore? Absolutely not. Because I know the bigger picture is this stuff, me being able to finish is a victory for me. Whether I made it through all the sets or not, it doesn't matter. I still made it through. I didn't stop. I didn't press pause. I kept on going. I may have taken a little break here or there, and maybe I wasn't doing it exactly the way they were, but I gave it my all. Victory. And so if I allow that doubt of, oh crap, I can't do that many push-ups on my toes. And if I let that sink in, just like she's saying, I'm going to lose out on the victory of, all right, so fine, I didn't do 30 and hold for 30 seconds, but I did do 20 or I did do 15 and I was able to hold for 20 of the 30 seconds. Crazy workout. So what Juliet said is that something that keeps her on track. She said that there is a picture of grass, and the grass kind of goes up to the grass grows up to the surface, and then it quits sprouting. And then we think that it's going back down. So think about your positive energy as sprouting grass. Or like sprouting whatever plant it is that you're trying to do. So it takes a while, right, for that to poke up and to start growing. And it might be right at the surface and maybe nothing is really happening. And then all of a sudden you'll see your grass grow. And so that's the thing we have to think about. We can't overwater, right? And we don't want to spread our negativity on it because then we're going to kill the plants. Mm-hmm. But as long as we continue on, we celebrate those positives that we're doing, even if they're small positives. Like that, I have running water in my house. I have power. I have a vehicle. I have a job. I'm able to be at home with my children. I have clothes. I have new clothes. I just was able to buy something at the store. I mean, all of these things that we literally take for granted are small victories. So I am in full agreement of the need to do that. I feel like this particular subject, although it wasn't what we had initially planned, is exactly what we all need because the holiday season is stressful. There's drama within families. There's parties. There's work parties. There's all this stuff. There's presents and wrapping and figuring out, do I have enough money for this? And, we get to this place where there's almost no enjoyment of the holiday because we're so stressed that it's like, oh, we just want it over, right? We forget about all those things. Like I was able to buy gifts. Mm-hmm. I'm able to go to a party. I have a party to go to. I have family or friends that want me around and I want to be around. Those are little victories. And even though it doesn't seem like a victory because we kind of take that stuff for granted, it's vital. It's vital for our existence, and it's a part of caring for ourselves and filling our cup up. If we're on empty, we're not giving to ourselves. We're not giving them either. So, that's kind of all I want to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
I mean, I really could probably go on forever. Really.
No, I know. I hear you. Thank you. That was great. It was funny. You made me think of this really silly phrase, but you said it may be small, and I thought of it may be small, but it's better than nothing at all. And I might just tell myself that throughout the day.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And just like you said about I might not be where I want to be.
Yeah.
But I'm not where I was. And same, even for me, if I look back 2 years, 5 years, 10
Mhm.
years, 15 years.
It's amazing.
So, I think to myself, oh God, like I'm glad I am not there. I'm not in those places. So that's what I need to think about. Like, I'm not there. I'm here, and I'm not that person anymore. I'm this person who's learning and growing. And sometimes the growing hurts
It does.
and aches, but you come out of it and you're stronger and you're better and you're wiser. And that's what's important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it also made me think when you were talking about the hammer and chisel, when we do a workout program, there's a reason why we take before and after photos, right? Because we can't really see the results as we're going through it until at the end when we compare those two, we're like, holy crap. It's kind of the same thing with like this and personal development. Like you can't really see it until you look back on where you were a year ago or 2 years ago, right? It's just an interesting way of looking at it.
And then you're like, oh, wow, I'm not there. Look at how far I really have come,
Yeah.
And yeah, I really do have muscle.
So being proud of that.
Yeah, exactly.
My picture I just posted yesterday.
Yeah.
I posted a picture of me of 2 years ago, and then me this past weekend in dresses, and I look like at least to me, I look like a totally different person. But in my head, I feel like I look like the same person until you actually see yourself next to each other.
Like it's so true. Yeah, it's crazy. That's awesome. That's huge that you posted that.
Oh my gosh, she completely looks like a different person.
Aw.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's awesome. Like when you hear that stuff, it's like that's what this is all about, and we need to remember that. You guys are so cute. Oh.
So the other thing that we were going to discuss is the that share event. So Melissa actually did that event.
Oh.
She got that from her success partner.
Mm-hmm.
And had some success. So
yeah, I hit Success Club 7 last month.
Nice.
It wasn't totally all from the Sharon Care, but I mean, I had a couple people that ended up buying out of it.
Good.
It wasn't as, she said that the one that we did wasn't as interactive. Sorry.
It's okay.
I can hear. Yeah, I can hear.
It wasn't as interactive as the one she had done before.
Mm-hmm.
But, we also did it 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah.
So we were kind of hoping people were still not in the time frame of buying for other people, but still on themselves. But I think, are you guys planning on doing one like in the new year?
In January.
We have that, the new Shakeology flavor coming out, which I think is going to be huge because I've had a lot of people, 3 or 4 people say to me, oh, let me know when that comes out because I think I want to try it then. So,
interesting.
got the new cafe latte, whatever it is.
Yeah. Is there a release date on that for sure?
Did you release January?
Okay. Good. I didn't realize it was that soon.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't either, but you know what? I also feel like in some sense I've been living under a rock a little bit.
But I still have all the daily posts because she emailed them to me.
Oh yeah, I have it too.
Oh yeah, you have it too.
And I shared it with Jenny.
I would put different pictures in personally because those were like my favorite pictures.
I can't even see them in the email.
Oh really?
In mine.
They're kind of goofy. I mean, she's got kind of a off the wall she kind of reminds me of you in a way, but in more of a.
Oh, crazy.
But different. But it's like, she's not afraid to swear, and she's, she's just like, this is me, and if you don't like it, screw you.
Yeah, right.
So, but her humor's a little different than I. Like the first picture is the kids peeing off of the bridge or something. Oh, so that's what it looks like. Like, yeah, see, that's not my style.
Yeah, I don't think I would post that for
That's interesting.
But I think a lot of them were also from that first girl from Melanie's downline, because the girl originally, when I listened to the original their call, she was posting some of hers and showed screenshots, and hers were like wacky off the wall type of things like that too. So I don't know how much of it was Nicole and how much of it was just she took from her just because that's what they used.
Is this Melanie Mitro?
Was it? I think it was
Melanie Mitro.
Yeah, it was one of her downlines. I don't know if it was her direct, but somewhere in
Somewhere in there,
the
I'm
big
pretty
scheme
sure.
of things.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, I think personally I don't want to advertise for this until the new year because I want to be in Success Club this month, right? And I feel like if we advertise for this now, then people are just going to wait. You know what I'm saying? So I almost want to push for challenge packs and then come like January 1st, once it's a new year, maybe we can start pushing for this and then have a start date of like the second week in January for this or something like that.
I think that's a smart idea because think about it like this. Right, just like you said, if we start now, what if we have people that are willing to do now, but then are like, oh, I'll wait.
Yeah.
One, two. I feel like there's so much hustle and bustle, like to ask people to like be coming in and constantly checking. I feel like even though it's not that much time, and people are already on Facebook anyway, but sometimes like, oh, you want me to go in there and be interactive and something? I don't really have time for that.
Yeah.
But after January
Excuses.
1st,
Yep.
I feel like people would be more apt to having that extra time.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to look at actually, I'll pull up the calendar real quick. I know you guys have to go. But January 11th is the second Monday in the month. I don't know. We could think about doing it then.
I think that's perfect because then that gives us.
What about running like a free group that first week starting the 4th, like a free workout group?
Yeah.
5 days.
Like a 5 or 7 day one to get people, because people want to start on January 4th. Like that is their like mental, like, hey, here it is.
First is over. Here's my New Year's resolution to do.
So if you get them in on something free, get them into the program the next week during the share and care thing.
Yeah, even get the people that are in the free.
Yeah, I'll definitely be doing the 5-day. I'll do a 5-day clean eating, and then probably a coach sneak peek like first.
I like that.
That is Monday the 4th.
Yes.
So
anything I can jump in January would be phenomenal.
Yes.
My January with my normal job is hell. So anything that I don't actually have to personally run, but only have to insert wherever you need me to.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and we can talk again before that, but.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like right now we can start playing around with like ads that we might want to run for it, and I can send I use PicMonkey for like my collages. I can try throwing one together.
I use Canva, I don't know how you would say it. I love that.
Canva or Canvas, yeah. They're good. Yeah, I use them too.
It's easier for me to use. I feel like PicMonkey for me. Although PicMonkey has a couple of extra tools that I don't think Canva has.
Yeah, they both have their own like pros and cons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we can play around with that. But I think that's good. So yeah, thank you guys so much. So you have another team call coming up right away?
It's at 9. It's at 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got a 4 a.m. wake up call.
Your typical 4 a.m.
Yeah, I've been getting up at 4 so I can get my workouts in.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I shouldn't say it like that because
I'm dedicated.
Listen, 4:30.
I have to. I'm like, I need to do this for myself. So 3 days in a row I've been doing it.
Getting up. Listen, I have always been a morning workout person. This morning, I didn't get home until, I don't know, it was like 11:30. I think it was like close to 11:30 by the time I got home last night. So by the time it was all said and done and I got into bed, it was like after midnight. So when the alarm went off at 5, I was like,
oh, yeah.
I shut the alarm off thinking that my husband had his alarm set. Whoops. So I woke up and it was 6:49 and I'm like, you have to leave in 20 minutes. You need to get up and get in the shower now. Like,
oh my God, that's awful. That's such a hectic way to start. Oh,
But I still got my workout in. I did not make an excuse, and
yay! Celebrate that.
I got it done, and I finished it.
Good.
I had
Yay.
a baby interrupt mine again. So I've been doing like a half a workout. My sister had a baby. She's like 7 weeks old. So
Mm-hmm.
it was my day today. So I get like halfway through my workout, and then she decides that she's gonna cry, and I'm like,
Oh,
and I'm on another one.
oh my gosh. I know. I had a woman saying to me, she's got a newborn. Well, she's like an infant, but she started working out and she's like, Jenny, I don't know if I can do this. I had to stop like 4 times. I might just wait until the baby's older. I'm like, listen, I'm like, you did it. I'm like, who cares if you stop 4 times? I'm like, that's better than nothing. And she's like, oh, thanks. But I'm like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
But that's the thing. People don't.
they think they have to be perfect. Yeah,
Yes, and we're so in a society right now that
it is.
think that it has to be the best. Like you have to do it the best. Well, yes, strive.
Yeah.
That's, but if you're
But
just
celebrate that you did something, right?
like you're lapping people around the couch.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. Lapping people on the couch.
You know.
All right, ladies.
Do anything. So, all right. You have a good night. We will chat about the event.
Thank you. Yes, for sure.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. It was so nice to be with you girls. So yeah, can you post the link if you convert it? Whenever,
Yeah, I'm
whenever.
gonna convert it now because my upline is gonna record the
Oh, okay.
I'm doing. So I will convert it and then I'll post it in on your page.
You know what's awful? I got a new Mac literally in February, okay? It is full. Or I just got a notification that it's full. I'm like, what? It has like 120 gigs. It's all videos and pictures. It's like, I need to go back and delete. Yeah, it's bad. Oh, well.
I really need to get one because the one that we have is just not. I need a Mac.
I got a super drive. There's a super drive that you can get to plug in and convert all your stuff. So that's what I have to do. I didn't realize how much, as a coach, how we save so many pictures and documents and videos and it just adds up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Slows everything down too.
But I will talk to you girls later.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.